Now, what I
That's
find
right.
an interesting psychological question is whether these people actually genuinely believe that they have it. Because if they genuinely believe they have it, then they're possibly not dishonest. And it's the same with psychics. I suspect that some of them probably genuinely believe that they have these powers. Do you have any observations on that?
I think a lot of them do honestly believe they have powers. You know, you can watch somebody like Sylvia Browne, John Edward, James Van Praagh, Uri Geller, these guys. And I think you can make a real case that they don't believe their powers are real. I'm not going to say whether these guys are con artists or not. I do believe they do not have psychic powers. But when it comes to dowsers and psychics and women like Connie Sona, a lot of these people honestly think they have some sort of power. And most of this, and we test them, and of course they don't. And now, probably what's going on here is this idea that most people have that we remember when we do something right, forget when we do something wrong. And so every time you say, you know, I haven't heard from Hayden Panettiere for a while, and suddenly the phone rings and it's her. You say, oh, hello, Hayden. I must have psychic powers. And this, and I was just going to say, this is called the confirmation bias. Somebody just posted this in the
Yes, I call it breach of an injunction, but anyway.
There are a lot of names for it, but basically you're reinforcing the positives and diminishing the negatives. You forget the 500 times that that didn't work, and remembering the one time it did. Same thing happens with dowsers, and the same thing happened with Ms. Donna when she was testing. She honestly thought she was going to be able to do it, and afterwards we had a press conference, and she kind of said, "Oh, hi, Hayden," and she said,
She's like that She's such a,
"I know, no, she has a lot of love to share. You're so negative, and you've got to be more positive here. Skeptics already have a bad rap. We have to be more upbeat and fun."
But she's indestructible as well. Let's not forget that.
That's what I've seen actually on TV. The whole point here is a lot of these people are really, really honest. They've just sort of fooled themselves about it, and we can test them. And the point is, later Connie actually said, "Gee, I don't know what went wrong here." She came up with kind of an excuse on her own part, and then 2 days later, not even. She was on the web claiming that we had defrauded her and that Banachek had cheated, and we see this all the time. They come in and blame it on us. And the thing is, you had many weeks, sometimes months, to work out the protocol, to work out how we're going to do this. And we say, look, this is how it's going to work. If James Randi is in the audience, that's not going to affect you, right? And they say yes, and they have to sign something. And yet then they turn around and say, well, Randi was in the audience and his negative vibrations were suppressing my psychic energies. And it's like, well, you know what? Too bad. You can't claim that.
Well,
you can't turn around and say we were defrauded.
From having watched a few of the videos that he's made, he actually requests not to know when the test is taking place. So
and many times Randi won't even go. It just so happened that M7, when we did this live, almost, we had 600 or 700 people in the audience. And it was incredible to watch this because we didn't want people to sneeze or cough or sniffle. We didn't want cell phones to go off. We didn't want anything to go on that could possibly be used by her as an excuse. And I have to tell you something. The closest thing I have ever experienced to paranormal was sitting in a room with that many people, and it was dead silent. It was after about 5 minutes, everybody was thinking that, and you could see afterwards, everybody was writing about it on their blogs and on Twitter. It was downright creepy. It was completely silent, except for what was going on stage. So it was totally cool, and she failed, like they all do. Now, to move on here just a little bit, people are asking if the challenge is going to end. About a year and a half ago, the foundation announced that because it had basically run its course. We get so many people trying to get that $1 million who have some unusual names, like the woman who said she can make people pee by staring at them. And it does take, it costs us money. We have to pay the salary of somebody to sit there and go through these sometimes very odd claims that don't even, make sense. You read their claim and you just can't even understand what they're trying to say. But we've decided that was not the way to go. And so we all talked about it and said, yeah, we can't turn down the challenge. It's too cool and too interesting and too good of a hammer, basically, as a tool to show people that, we don't know if psychic powers exist or not, but we want to make sure that people are being skeptical about it. $1 Million Challenge is a great way to do that. So we're going to continue it. We're working on changing it to make it more efficient, to put it online a little bit better, so that we're not spending a year going back and forth with people who have a hard time understanding statistics. We're working on all that right now. We should be announcing it early next year about how we're going to redo it, and hopefully by then we'll have everything in place. So to be very clear, the challenge is continuing. It is not stopping. I've written about this before. We've claimed.
Yeah, the two that I remember from the Princeton lecture that Randi mentioned were the Magnetic Ladies of Romania. And we have a Romanian who will be co-hosting hopefully a little bit later on. And they sort of stuck coins to their foreheads and
yeah, right, I know. That. No human could stick coins out.
Oh, the other one was the bloke from Mexico that turned up with the suitcase ready to take the $1 million, who said that he glowed in the dark. And what Randi pointed out, and what I agree with, you can't disagree with it, you get the crackpots claiming the challenge, and yet those that purport to be able to do it every day, your John Edward, your Sylvia Brown, your fat moustache, funny sounding bloke, or whatever, these people will never do it. Come on. I know you can't say it, but I can. They're absolute con men and charlatans.
But not everybody
I think,
is, right?
I think you can say this though, Phil, because he's actually got a conviction for it. That's not fair, actually. He hasn't got a conviction for it. He's been proved to be a charlatan. Peter Popoff.
Well, yeah. Peter Popoff is I don't know that much about this whole story. Even though I'm president of the JREF has a long and rich history. And
you should watch more of my videos.
Well, no, I have, because I'm just made of time. That's all I got to do is sit back and watch YouTube all the time.
They're very entertaining.
You and 500 other people.
The JREF is subscribed to my channel.
Oh, I know. I've watched several of your videos. I've watched a bunch of different things. It's just hard.
Really?
It's hard.
I hope someone's recorded that. Please tell me someone has recorded that. Phil Plait has watched some of my videos.
Have you watched any of mine?
Yes, many.
Yeah, I wish I could continue doing them, but they take me all day to freaking edit. I'm terrible at it. We'll do this again. We'll do more videos in the future. But the point is, the JREF does a lot of stuff, and Randy's got such a long history of doing all this stuff. It's hard to keep track of it all. So I know the basics of the Peter Popoff thing. Basically, he was sort of a faith healer and a guy who could huge crowds of people. And it turns out that he able to tell you things about yourself that no human could possibly know without being a psychic. And it turns out his wife had a microphone, and she would talk to these people, and he had an earpiece in, and she was telling him what the people were saying to him. So he was a complete con artist.
What I'm about to show you.
And he's back online. He's back doing them again.
What I'm about to show you is just some of the, because I subscribe to his channel. This is some, and it is only some, of the letters that I've received from him. I actually thought of putting on eBay. His latest gimmick is slippers, and he only sends you one, but of course I kind of applied twice, so I got two. So I've got two Peter Popoff slippers. What you're actually supposed to do with these, if you read the letter, is to put it on your right foot, I don't know why it's your right foot, and stand on the Bible and recount some bullshit that he puts in the letter. But I think I might put these on eBay. Peter Popoff, I'll sign them if it helps. Peter Popoff slippers. I'm sorry, that bloke should be in prison. If he tried to do that in this country, I think he would be in prison. I just don't understand what's going on in America and how he gets away with it.
Well, neither do I. You can, if you can prove that these things are fraudulent or that they're making claims that they can't back up, then yeah, sure, you can send these people to prison. Look at Kevin Trudeau. I don't know if these commercials run in England, but late night TV, his commercials on things that they don't want you to know, medical cures they don't want you to know about. And this guy's a complete fraud. He's convicted fraud, in fact, credit card fraud in the past. And he's peddling medical cures which are 100% quackery. He's saying you can cure your cancer by eating ground up coral calcium.